Next வந்து monitoring of same cargo, ballast and void spaces for leakage and contamination. ஸோ இதில் முக்கியமான பாயிண்ட் வந்து monitoring of void and ballast spaces. அதை எப்படி மானிட்டர் பண்ணுவோம்? These void and ballast space in the cargo tank should regularly monitored for leaks from the nearby tanks. Regular atmospheric check of hydrocarbon contents and regular sounding and knowledge of empty spaces should be carried out. அதனால தான் டெக்லாக் புக்கில் நம்ம அந்த ரைட் சைட் காலம்ல இதெல்லாம் என்டர் பண்ணிக்கிட்டே வரும். நெக்ஸ்ட், discharge of segregated ballast tanks. Discharging segregated ballast tanks. To prevent contamination of segregated ballast tanks causing pollution where possible, the surface of the ballast tank should be sighted before deballasting. Surface of ballast tanks should be sighted before deballasting. Again, ISM code என்ன சொல்றாங்கனாக்கா, the company should establish procedures, plans and instructions, including checklist as appropriate for key shipboard operation concerning the safety of the person. So, the vessel operator should have developed procedures whereby the requirements to inspect the surface of the ballast tanks prior overboard discharging, requirements to sound empty tanks and spaces periodically to detect any migration of liquids, and also in any level full or partially full tanks, periodically you should detect the migration of liquids between the adjacent or interconnected spaces. Also, there is a requirement to test the ballast lines when they pass through the cargo tanks. Procedures should also state the actions to be taken when the ballast water is found contaminated. Actions to be taken when there is an evidence of migration of liquid between the cargo and ballast tanks, bunker, void or cofferdam spaces. So now the inspector will cite and review the company procedures for the same. In case of any cargo leakage, what are the company procedures? And review the latest sounding record of empty spaces and verify that the soundings has been taken in accordance with company's procedure. Review the latest record of ballast water discharge and whether the surface of the ballast tank has been inspected prior discharging. And also it states if it is contaminated, what is the company procedures to be followed. Review the record of ballast lines, test whether they are passing through the cargo tanks or fuel. And now the inspector will cite the ballast tank sighting arrangement and verify that each tank adjoining to the cargo or bunker tank could be readily inspected without the need of removing numerous nuts and bolts. It should be easily opened and closed. So these are all the suggested inspector's action. So expected evidence is the company procedure for sighting the surface of the ballast tank prior discharging, and in case of any contamination, what is the company procedure, and the periodical sounding of empty tanks to detect any liquid migration, records demonstrating that the surface of the ballast water has been inspected prior discharging, periodical sounding of empty spaces, detect the migration of liquid between adjacent tanks, and the record of ballast lines being tested if it is passing through a cargo or fuel tanks. So chances of negative observation is company procedure is not there or officer not familiar with this, and mainly if there is any record stay which determines that there is liquid leakage in an empty space in the past 12 months, and also the records determine that the ballast water or a ballast tank was contaminated by oil from the adjacent space in the past previous 12 months.